Do you love quilting and machine embroidery quilting where the quilt blocks are done completely in the hoop? Well, check out this video. You guys are going to love this. You can create this gorgeous quilt block by Anita Good Design step by step. Buddy, thanks for joining me. This is going to be a great video. Look how gorgeous this quilt block is. I love it. Even better put together. Please take a minute to subscribe to the channel and like this video. So the first thing I do when I am starting out on a block project like this is I print out two templates. Now the first one right here, you still have the applique pieces on it, but I cut one up and I leave one square and I mark everything, and this to me just makes it a little bit easier to cut out the fabric and make sure you keep everything straight. There's a whole bunch of different fabrics in this one, but you see everything fits in. And I have everything numbered, so it makes it really easy to do. And the square one that I left without cutting up is for the batting because I never get the size right. So it just gives you a guide. Now make sure when you're cutting out that you leave extra room on it. And also make sure you have your book ready. I keep everything together and so I can visualize everything, and also your instructions are in the book. So if you lose track of what you're doing, that's where you need to look. It gives you step-by-step instructions, sizes, make sure you pick the right size for the hoop that you want as well. And there's your step-by-step instructions, literally everything that you need to complete it. Step-by-step, cutting, trimming, placing the next one, and keep going until it's done. So it's really easy to figure out. It shows you the applique pieces as well as the folded fabric pieces. And remember, all of this machine embroidery is done in the hoop. So this is the one I decided to do, and I've done one, and I put it, you know, in the proper way so I can keep track of everything. So I have templates. Now you can cut these out on your cutting machine. I'm only doing 4, so I just thought it would be easier to, you know, cut it out myself. So the templates are just like a rough guide. So cut your piece bigger. Don't cut it from the middle like I'm doing there. I don't know what I'm doing. And you can cut 4 of these. I'm only doing 4 to make one little wall hanging. But cut them out, and I know this square is going to fit because it's, you know, rough cut into the size that I need. And I find that a lot easier than measuring and trying to figure it out that way. And I do this for all of my fabrics, and I keep one block or one, you know, template around so I can figure it out. Now this block number 2, I really had a hard time placing it in the hoop each and every time. So I just cut a big square out of this one, and placement is a little bit tricky. I'll show you that in a little bit. So just a big rough cut square. I mean, it works. All right. At the machine, done all of our cutting. The first thing to stitch out is the placement guideline, and this is going to be for your batting. So I have my batting there ready. Now I'm going to use a couple of different functions for this. I'm going to use, this is the frame out option on my Brother PR1000e, and that's very handy. I do have to take the hoop out a few times, but that's what I'm doing. Watch. And you can see everything that's going on the keypad and what we're doing. So the second step is going to stitch down the batting. So I've cut it pretty close to the right size using my template. Just makes life easier. And it's going to stitch it down twice, and then the next step is we're going to have to trim. Now also for this, I know there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can put stops into your design. I just find it, for these ones, I just find it a lot easier just to click the reserve stop and make sure it stops. You can, when you're programming your colors, you can put the hand in there and it'll automatically stop. But you see, I don't program the applique colors. With Anita Good Design, they're all blue and red, and I just leave them and make sure I have not an anchored color that's going to look fine. So it saves a lot of time doing it this way, and you see I just do reserve stop, and I know it's going to stop after every step. I just find it easier. Saves me time. So the next step, and this will be the same for all of the appliques and folded fabric, it's going to give you an outline of what you're doing, just a single outline. Now the first one here is at applique. The first one is usually applique. It just makes it easier because we're going to cover up all the edges on it. So I'm going to do my reserve stop, and then I'm going to bring my frame out so it's easier to reach, which I love. I got a drop thread there. I hope I fix it. And put the fabric on. I use a little bit of spray to help hold it down, and it's going to tack that down twice. It's going to stitch it twice. Once that is done, then frame out again, which is super handy. You guys can see that it's handy. And I'm just trimming it. Make sure you leave enough on the edges for a seam allowance. I kind of cut a lot of things a bit short on this one, so I don't have the seam allowance I need. I make it work, but you guys can do it better. Now, here's the tricky one. I really had a hard time doing this one for no particular reason. I don't know why I couldn't get it, but I did it wrong every time. The key is that the bottom part of it is on an angle, and for some reason that just messed up my brain cells. I didn't do too badly on this one, but one of the other ones, I had to undo it and start again because it didn't cover the whole block. So I don't know, maybe it was just me having a rough day or two. So frame out, frame in, and now it's going to stitch it down. Oops, I adjusted the camera. Make sure nothing gets caught up like that. Be careful putting your hands in. See, I'm just a little bit tight on the top right corner. It'll do though. Trim it out, make sure you leave a nice seam allowance. I did fine on that side. And we're going to do the next block. So the first step on everything is a placement line. So there's the placement line. Now this one you can see is going to be applique, because if you look up in the next step, it's fully stitched out. So you know that it's applique as opposed to folded fabric. So again, it's going to stitch it down twice to hold everything in place. And we are going to trim it out. So I'm going to do my frame out because that brings everything closer. Another thing I do that I forgot to mention at the beginning is that I always put, this is my B hoop. So it's an 8x8 hoop, and it has a letter B on it, and I always make sure that when I'm loading it the first step that I put the B on the top right, right way up, so that way you never put the frame in the wrong way. For my other frames I put a sticker up there, and I do it the same every time, and I don't get into any troubles. Now this is a nice loose kind of like a zigzag stitch just to make it really nice. Oh yeah, look at that broken thread. It happens. It's kind of metallic thread that I'm using. Whenever you have a thread break, I actually ran out of bobbin on this one. Make sure you reverse back so you start off again where you left off. You don't want to, miss any stitches. A lot of people do it. So I change everything and we're back in business. Now the color I chose for this matches almost exactly to the fabric, which is fine. I think it looks great. This is all in fast motion, by the way, so I finished the square rather quickly, but it's because it's like super fast motion. My machine does not stitch that fast, although it would be cool, wouldn't it? Let me know in the comments if you think it would be cool. So once this is done, we are going to go to our next block, and I miss a little trimming there, so I'm going to fix that. Let's see. Yep, I fixed that. I just kind of missed it on that one, so just carefully fix it. Now the next one is the outline. Now this one is going to be folded fabric, and if you look to the left, you can see the next step. I'm pointing to it. It's just a line, and that's how you know that it's folded fabric. And make sure it fits, and make sure you know where the line is going to stitch. So I fold it down and I double check everything, and then I stitch down the line. To me, that's the easiest way to do it, but you don't have to worry about, is it applique, is it folded fabric? It's going to do an outline, and if the next one is just a line, then it's folded fabric. Now I do sneak in a little spray there. I don't recommend spraying near your machine like I did, but I didn't want to move all the cameras to do everything, so it was just easier for me to do that. And look, folded fabric. Again, I am a little bit short on the top there of fabric. I should have placed it a little bit better. I'm short at the top and I have way too much at the bottom, so I'm just a little off today, but you know what, I still make it work. It's fine. Make sure you leave the seam allowance on the side, and I'm pointing there. I'm really cutting it close. So here's our last one going on. So what's the step? It's going to be an outline stitch, and then you look at the next one and it looks like it's folded fabric. Frame out again, and you could fussy cut a little bit if you wanted to. Just make sure everything fits and everything looks good. Once you get it where you want, frame back in. I guess I'm having a hard time deciding. I don't know. Frame back in and stitch out your folded fabric line. And you can, again, use a little bit of spray to hold this down nice and flat. I think it adds a little bit to the ending, like there's no bubbles and everything's down flat. I like to do it. Again, please don't spray near your machine. The next step is stitching it down. And we've done folded fabric and we've done applique to make our wonderful quilt block. Now it's time for super fast motion for all of the detail work. And I love how this comes together. It is gorgeous. I picked some gorgeous colors. This part took, you know, a little bit of time to stitch out, but that's fine. It's so worth it. You can even see me working in the background there to the right. That's kind of funny. I just noticed that. Oh, well, I work hard. So it's fun watching it stitch out and all the colors come together. I think this is one of the most gorgeous designs I've ever stitched, and I love, you know, using different fabrics. I love the flower in the corner. It really stands out, and I love the colors that I use. So look at this, when you get 4 or more and sew them together, it is stunning. So this is the quarter turn quilt from Anita Good Design, and I hope you guys will give it a try. It's beautiful. You'll love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.